and Diener was talking crazy about how they had just beat us in the Christmas tournament.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what made me say this. I think I said something like, "We'll see y'all again, coach. We'll see y'all again."
Just touched down, back on road, counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode, hop in mode.
First, hey, I want to say thank you coming to the Barcode Podcast, bro. You know, it means a lot to me. Ever since I seen you play, bro, I fell in love. I fell in love with your game, man. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it, I'm gonna tell you when I fell in love with your game, Al, and you got to tell me about it too.
Right.
So y'all go upstate, Tulsa East High School. Y'all play Milwaukee Vincent upstate. You got Bouway, you got Greg, you got Dion, you got Wante, you got Carl. Man, tell me, I want to take me back, Al. Like, what was going through your mind? Like, just walking into the Code Center and like, man, I got to play the #1 team in the state.
Man, Q, to be honest, like we had played them earlier in the year for your Christmas tournament at the Vincent Christmas tournament. And they popped us. They popped us earlier that year. And we won. We didn't feel like they was too much better than us. We didn't approach games that way. You know how we approach games. Like they got to lace them up just like us.
Yeah.
And I never forget this. We was I went to a Marquette College game with my high school coach, George Haas.
Yeah.
And we sat next to Diener. And Diener was talking crazy about how they had just beat us in the Christmas tournament.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what made me say this. I think I said something like, "We'll see y'all again, coach. We'll see y'all again." And we got a chance to see him again. We knew how good Vincent was, but we ain't really buy into that hoopla because when we got upstate, we had a hell of a run just to get there. You know, our sectional was loaded. So I think we had to go through King. Wait, we went through Pius, who was a top 10 team at the time. Then we had to go through King. Then we had to go through Washington. You know what I mean? And then so by the time we saw Vincent, you know the stigma on the city teams, like, hey man, they pressure, they get physical, they all, you know. So I felt like our run to get up to Madison really prepared us for our Vincent game, especially for my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Me as a player, I grew up in that environment, so that wasn't necessarily a worry of mine. It was how would my guys, you know, how would they respond? And I think going up against King and Washington really helped us for that stage.
Yeah, for sure, man. Dude, y'all had a real good team, and y'all was well coached too. You know, shout out to Coach Haas. He was a real good coach. You had some guys who didn't back down. Andy.
Yeah.
What was the shooter name?
Andy Freund and then Steve Joswick.
Joswick. Yeah, you know, them guys weren't no pushovers, man.
No, Chris Breyer, he was the heart and soul of our team. We don't do nothing without Chris Breyer. He was actually first team All State that year. And I think Freund ended up making second team All State that year.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So them dudes, them was some soldiers now. People probably looked at us and thought they was going, it wasn't no back down in them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I just remember being upstate as a freshman at that time, and I just remember like all the guys, you know, we was just kind of like with our mouth dropped, like, and then all the girls, you know, freshman, sophomore girls, they just y'all had the girls crying upstate, man, when y'all beat us, man. And like I said, that was my first time. I always heard about you, but that was my first time actually like seeing you play, like, and able to pay attention. And like, man, I fell in love with your game, dude. You don't understand, Al.
Man, that was a good time, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At that point, we were just on the mission. You know what I mean? But we fell short. But that game there, I mean, Boo hit some some tough shots. I mean, he hit some deep threes, dude.
Deep three.
Deep threes. And I think Greg struggled shooting the ball that game.
Y'all held him to 6 points, if I ain't
Was
mistaken.
it 6? I knew it may have been single digits, but he missed some shots that he normally make. And that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Then I think was that Wante or Landry who missed one of them missed a tip in. One of them missed a shot that could have went either way, man. I'm like, it's the way it go.
Yeah, that's the way basketball is played. Yeah. So that following year, you get Jerry Smith come in, right?
Right.
Yeah, Jerry Smith come in. How was that experience playing with Jerry Smith and the hype that he had coming into Tulsa East, and with you being the veteran? Did you learn a lot from the young pup?
I mean, Jerry and we have been boys since elementary school. You know what I mean? We went to elementary, middle, then high school together. I just happened to be 2 years older. So it wasn't really, as far as friendship and chemistry wise, that really didn't take much. He came in right away like a man child. Like Jay was strong. Jay had mustache in 5th grade, 6th grade. He had mustache, damn near goatee. But Jay wasn't like a typical freshman coming in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what I learned was Jerry came in with so much hype, and I had played with Devin as a freshman. So I just wanted to kind of use the things I learned from Devin and try to use them with Jerry, because they both were scorers.
Yeah.
They made my job so much easier, and they both were dogs. So when Jerry came in, it was an adjustment for him because he wasn't the biggest and strongest all the time. So he really showed the skill set and athleticism as a junior. So, but once we got things figured out, we throwing lobs everywhere, and he a warrior, man. You know what I mean? He don't want to lose. He not gonna be outworked, and he the greatest person you're gonna never meet. So you can always play with guys like him and go to war with guys like him.
Most definitely. I like both of the duos, especially you and Jerry, because I was in your era. We was all in the same era.
Y'all beat us that year, Q.
Yeah, I know, man. I didn't want to bring it up
that year.
Yeah, man. But that's when Diener kind of let me open up, man. That was before I went in, man, offense, man. And
man.
Yeah, I never forget when we beat y'all that year. If I ain't mistaken, Al, you probably don't remember. Remember I had a bald head?
Was that year? Or was that your junior year? Or was that
was junior? That was junior year, right?
So that was the following year then.
Okay, so yeah, sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year.
Sophomore year, y'all beat us too.
Yeah.
Because sophomore year, y'all should have beat us. Your junior year, y'all probably shouldn't have. Billy hitting all them damn jumpers. Billy didn't make no damn jumpers like that. He made them jump.
Sophomore year, we didn't even know our identities. It was the Billy Mimmons show.
Y'all did. Y'all beat us your sophomore year too.
Yeah,
though, right?
That's what I'm saying. I felt like y'all should have beat us our sophomore year.
Yeah.
But junior year, that's when we came out the shell. We was in the Vengeance.
Oh, good, man. Good. Y'all had. See, people don't know. Y'all had J. Cam and Pope. Them two defensive dogs right there. You know what I mean? Then with you anchoring it right there, then Landro too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, man. It was definitely good. But explain how was it? How was it with you playing with Devin Harris? Because wasn't it like Devin Harris, Leonard Biddle, Scott Merritt?
Now that year, those were before I got there.
Oh, right. Okay.
So my freshman year, we had a team, a group of seniors, and then a group of juniors. We had when I was a freshman, we probably had like 6 or 7 juniors on the team. So we was really good because Devin and the 2 seniors we had kind of led us.
Yeah.
So I started at the point for most of the season as a freshman, and we went 23-0 and lost to Washington sectional final to go upstate. But was just a different animal, man. Devin was different. He was a different animal, dude.
he was different, man. So I'm not surprised. Like, I had to talk with one of my homeboys a couple of weeks ago, and we was just talking about guys from Milwaukee, who got drafted high. And
Right.
like Devin Harris, I think he was higher than Latrell Sprewell. I think he the highest to ever get drafted.
Yeah, I think he was a 5 pick.
Yeah, he was the fifth pick. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He was the 5th pick, got drafted after his junior year at Wisconsin. Big brother to me, man. He was just at my house actually earlier, but I don't know where he is now. He probably left back out. But he just one of those guys, man, who his speed, and he was a warrior. He was fearless, man. Like, he went number 5 pick in the NBA draft. Like, that year, Emeka Okafor, Ben Gordon, Jameer Nelson, like, he was on one of those top 5 guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that there, I don't think we'll see a guy like him again, man.
Yeah, I think, I agree with you. Devin definitely was, a different breed. And with him being your big bro, you learned a lot from him. And that's why I just like love your resume, as a basketball player, and a coach,
Right. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You already know, Al. So I do want to get into college. Initially, you signed with Akron, right?
Right.
You signed with Akron.
Right.
Now, and I know you went to UW after that, but with Akron, did you leave because LeBron, high school coach, wound up getting a job at Akron? Did that have something to do with it, or
that was part of it? A lot of people know Shaka Smart, the coach at Marquette. He's the one who actually recruited me to go to Akron. He was an assistant coach at Akron at the time, and me and him formed a real good relationship. He was probably 90% of the reason that I was going to Akron, and so Keith Danbrot was the assistant coach as well, who was LeBron's high school coach with Drew Joyce and Romeo Travis. Those guys were already freshmen at Akron, so they were a year ahead of me. So as an assistant coach, I was okay with kind of going in, and his high school players were on staff. But midway through the college year that year, the head coach, Dan Hipsher, got fired.
Okay.
After the season, Keith Danbrot, who was their high school coach, ended up getting a head job. So I'm like, man, now his high school point guard is going to be 1 year older than me. I mean, whether I'm better than him or not, I didn't feel comfortable going out against those odds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In their hometown. You know what I mean? So, and then at the time, I had some situation going on with the family and everything like that. So I'm like, hey, man, like, if I could get out of this and stay home, be close to my family, represent Milwaukee, because Coach Pearl was like, hey, come in. We need a guard. We need a guard. We love you, this and that. A scholarship had opened up for them, so they offered me, and I was like, hey, I'd rather stay home and be a part of, something that those guys were already establishing.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you, especially with your decision. It was nice for you to, come, stay home and play for UWM. Right. I just remember you even signing with Akron. Right. Back then, going Division I, out of high school, that was huge,
Right.
So, because, a lot of us players, go to junior college or prep school and stuff. So for you to stay at Tulsa East all 4 years and you commit Division I was real excited for you, and plus you deserved it.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So that was huge. And before we get into UWM, what all offers did you have your senior year? Like, what schools were offering you full rides?
At that point, I would say Green Bay was my first offer, which came like my freshman year. I had Valpo, George Mason, Frank Larinaga, who's the coach at Miami. He was at George Mason then.
Okay.
Them, Fresno State, and UWM, I said Green Bay, and just Wisconsin and Marquette were kind of like wanted to see how things went my senior year. Because at that time, as far as guards, he had, well, that they mentioned that they were deciding where it was myself and Michael Flowers. So they wanted to see how that kind of played out, how that went, because Dupree at the time, he was already like, he could have went anywhere he wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
And with Mike Flowers and myself, they were like, we don't want both of y'all. We think you both will be point guards. We want to see how it goes. Wisconsin ended up deciding to go with Mike Flowers, and I didn't really wait on Marquette. Going into my senior year, I'm like, shit, I wanted to get this over with.
Yeah.
But had I been able to look at things a little bit differently, Jerry came in and had all of the big dogs was there for him. And, you know, they were kind of keeping their eye on me, but I had signed going into my senior year. So things were already, you know, it was a little too late at the time.
Okay, got you. And you know, I like Michael Flowers. I would have loved to see you play at the University of Wisconsin. Really either or, but I really would have liked to see you play at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good group of guys on our Wisconsin team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was a good Wisconsin team, and you would have fit in real well. And you know, Flowers was a good guy, you know, a good basketball player, but with Devin being your big bro, and you know, didn't he get drafted 04, right?
He got drafted 04. So
was it 04?
Right when I graduated high school, he got drafted 2 weeks after.
That's what I'm saying.
I never forget that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, come on, Wisconsin, like this my little brother, man, get him in there.
yeah, that would have been a good fit, but I felt Mike deserved that, and
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
The way he played, he's a Madison kid, you know what I mean? Like he put on for Wisconsin as well. Like he did some real big things with them.
Yeah, sure.
And we played AAU together, so that's my dog. So
yeah, for sure. So all right, so going into UWM, you already, you know, been around a lot of these guys. I know you know, there are a lot of guys that was on the team like Joel Tucker, James Wright, you know, all the guys on the UWM team. And so now you an incoming freshman.
Right.
How was that transition for you? You know, did you come out starting, or you know?
To be honest, like that's probably one of the best teams I ever been a part of. That chemistry, that brotherhood, that bond, it was like it was great. So it was a great transition for me. I had a really good fall going into my freshman year, and we had a real tough schedule that year. And I felt as a freshman, I came in really, like, you ask those guys on that team, like I came in like I'm trying to earn something, I'm trying to get something. And Chris Hill, who I end up playing behind, he really picked things up, and we started out really hot. And me as a freshman, like they went with the upperclassmen who really came out balling.
Yeah.
So I really had to get in where I fit in, to where it was like a numbers game for me. And I was the young buck, you know what I mean? Like I felt like talent-wise I was there, but there were just so many other adjustments I had to figure out, you know, in order to get on the court. It ain't easy coming in as a freshman, getting on the floor. But I don't feel like I could have been in a better position. I didn't play that much as a freshman. I played enough to where I couldn't redshirt, but I didn't play enough to where I really was able to have a tremendous impact. But I learned so much during that process, during that year. Probably one of my favorite years of playing basketball, and I barely played.
Yeah, you know what, and that's dope, and that lets you know how good of a group, you know, the UW guys were, you know, because I'm pretty sure you love basketball so much, and for you not to play much,
Yeah.
You still learned a lot. You adjusted, as a freshman. And, a lot of people and a lot of kids, they need to hear things like that because, coming from high school, you get a lot of kids, who got the ball in their hand 90% of the time. And then they go to college and now they got to earn minutes and compete.
That's it. That I had no problem with competing, so I understood. But I think just being around my teammates and how selfless everyone was, like that, like I tell you, like it was one of them type of groups, one of them type of grinds. Where it's like, hey man, I'm just as happy for their success or Chris' success is mine, and I'm trying to beat him out.
Yeah.
So, and that ain't easy to do. You know what I mean? Suck that up, and especially as a freshman, like you said, coming in from being the man, it's humbling. But I had no problem with working hard. That's just the environment that they created down there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, yeah, man, I love it. I wish more kids thought like that. The fact that they got to come into a school and compete for time and play hard and learn, versus just coming in and think everything gonna be handed to them. So I wish we get a lot. I mean, a lot of kids do it, but a lot of kids, stuck in their ways. Not knocking them or anything like that. So,
Right.
yeah, for sure. So freshman year, if I'm mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. That's your freshman year, UW. Is that when y'all went to the NCAA tournament?
That's when we went to the Sweet 16 that year. So
Sweet 16.
I mean, it wasn't none that I could argue with or even, pout about. It's like we sitting out here winning games. You know what I mean? We went to the Sweet 16. That was probably one of the greatest moments the city has ever experienced. You know what I mean? Because most of the have Milwaukee guys do that. Joe Ladders, Jay Wright, man. Like people don't understand the type of warrior he is, man, type of brother he is. Like he really carried us, like mentally, emotionally, like you know how he is. Like y'all got a lot of similarities. You two, you guys, man.
Yeah, man. I love Jay Wright, man. And man, I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, about it and stuff. And, nothing but, great encouraging words. Said a whole bunch of great things about that, that UWM team that went to the Sweet 16. I had a lot of great things to say about you, Al. As long as I've been knowing you, I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about you. You're just such a wonderful guy. Yeah, for sure.
Man, me and Jay Wright, all we do, we kept everybody loose, man. They used to call him Big Joker and me Little Joker. All we did was rib people, crack jokes. Coach Pearl couldn't stand it sometimes. We ribbed him, so like it was just we created the environment, like we kept everybody loose, man, kept it fun. So
yeah, for sure.
It was cool.
Speaking of Bruce Pearl, wonderful coach. I love Bruce Pearl, the way he coached at UW. He is at Auburn right now.
Yeah.
I've been watching him forever. How was your relationship, throughout the years at UWM?
I only played for him for 1 year. After our Sweet 16 year, he left and went to Tennessee.
That's where yeah.
But our relationship was good, man. Like ultimate players coach. Like ultimate players coach. He really gonna build you up. He gonna empower you. You gotta do the things that he's asking. Like you gotta work hard. You gotta play hard, and you're gonna have the freedom. And I think that's one thing I kind of took into my coaching from him is just like, hey man, like enjoy the game, play the game, but you gotta work. You gotta work. And I think that's something that carries him. Like you watch his teams, like those guys play hard, they gonna have the freedom to do what they want to do. And I think that's why he's so successful, because he's a player's coach that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, any group that he coached, yes, I seen with my own two eyes. They work very hard.
Yeah, they work hard.
Yeah, he definitely a Hall of Fame coach. Yeah, when that time comes, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So if you can remember, I know it's long ago. But when he left, at that time, did you feel some type of way? Like, because you learned so much from him your freshman year, and then like he just kind of leave,
I
especially
mean,
with all the things which you been through your senior, your senior year,
yeah,
signing with Akron and coming home, and then he leaving after that first year.
yeah, for a second, but then once you look at it, it's like he's earned that opportunity. You know what I mean? He's earned that by the way we performed and his teams prior to us had performed. Like he put himself in a position to do what's best for him and his family. And I mean, obviously I love playing for him. I enjoy playing for him, but also I was home. You know what I mean? And that transition between when he left and the search for a new coach, it was tough to kind of swallow and figure out what's next.
Yeah,
Because you want someone coming in who's going to like your game and give you the opportunity and hope you're in their plans. And the good part about it is with Wisconsin kind of recruiting me throughout high school and my relationship with them through Devin, when Rob Jeter got the job, I already had a familiarity with him. So I was extremely comfortable with that hire, and being able to play for him the next few years is something that I was comfortable with.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, like I like the Jeter. I don't really know much about him, but
Okay.
the things that I did hear about him, that's the type of coach that I would play for. I heard he, you know, try to push his players. Well,
Yeah.
every coach should do this, but he try to push like the best out of you, and
Yeah.
he kind of hard on you, hard on his players and stuff. So I heard a lot of good things about Jeter. So with him making that transition, this was your sophomore year, right?
This was our sophomore year, but we returned everyone except for Jay Wright. We returned except for Jay Wright and Ed McCants. We returned pretty much the whole roster.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So at that point, we kind of knew what we coming in ready to try to make a deeper run, and but at the same time, we had a new coach who was coming in and instilling his philosophy, which was at the time completely different than Coach Pearl's. You
Okay.
know, and he had came from the Bo Ryan system, so it was slower pace, post touch, swing offense, like those kind of things where we felt we already knew who we were as a
Yeah.
team, I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
As a team.
coach came in and implemented what he wanted. We got to the tournament. We lost the game to go to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Florida beat us, Joe Kim Noll and Al Horford and Corey Poppers.
I
They
remember
won it that year.
they won it that year.
Won it that year.
I remember I watched that game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember watching it live, of course, even though it was longer. But I'm talking about I just watched it recently, like 2 months ago on YouTube, and them dudes was something else, man.
Them
One
dudes
day.
was good, dude. Them dudes was good. You talking about ball head. Speaking of ball head, you had a ball head your junior year or your senior. Yeah, your junior year.
Yeah.
I had one that game.
Yeah. Y'all all had ball heads, right?
Man, I don't know what Avo gassed me up to do that, man. Avo gassed me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't think your sophomore year, was it that 2005?
05 going into 06 was my sophomore year.
Okay, got you. Because I wanted to say I don't think Ricky Franklin was on that team. Hold on, Ricky Franklin probably was on that team, wasn't he?
Rick was a red shirt. Rick was, I want to say, Prop 48 that year. Red shirt prop. Rick, I know he sat out that year.
Okay.
Because Rick was 05 high school.
Yeah.
The same year.
Yeah, we both
He was
05.
05. He was a freshman coming in. So he sat out, which was a good move considering what we had returned. You know what I mean? So it was good.
Yeah. Now I need to know how. Now I know you from Hillside. I know that you used to competing at a high level. What's going through your mind when you step on the floor with Florida? Y'all know y'all got to play Florida. What's really going through your mind, Al? Like, I know as a man and a basketball player, and we from Milwaukee, we ain't about to say like, oh, they about to beat us. That ain't our mindset. But what's really going through your head because they the favorites, and it's like y'all the underdogs.
When you get in that position, like we have been the underdogs, like coming from a mid-major, we had already knew. Like we never thought we wasn't gonna win the game. The only thing that really kind of stood out to us at the time was we were playing Florida in Florida. So we played them in Jacksonville. So it's like that whole place was like Gator Nation. Like they popped our ass. Like, well, I always thought we had a chance, especially we beat Oklahoma, who was good.
Yeah.
So when you get to that tournament, you ain't even really tripping about the opponent and what everybody else saying. Like you feel like you there. Like March Madness is March Madness. Like we had already had the taste of Cinderella. We didn't feel like we were Cinderella that year. Like, we felt like we could go to Elite Eight, possibly Final Four, because the year before we lost to Illinois and they end up going to the national championship. Yeah. Then the next year we end up being Florida, who ended up winning it. So we felt like we lost to two of the top two teams those years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most def. And y'all played two tough teams. Now, which team would you say was tougher? The Illinois team with D. Brown, Williams, and who was the other? Luther Head.
Luther Head. That team was. I think they were so different. Like, they were so different. Like that team was so guard heavy. Well, then you got Al Horford, Joakim, Corey Brewer, the little guard. Like them dudes was good, man. So it depends on, you got to pick your poison. Would you rather face a team with elite guards or a team with elite bigs? And Joakim Noah was a dog.
Yeah,
he did that thing off the board and do his thing.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the Illinois game, I watched that too.
Okay.
Y'all had them.
We had
them. And I actually asked James Wright this because I actually thought y'all was in the zone, but I guess y'all was in the zone. I guess y'all played like hell of like great help defense.
Yeah. No, I don't think we ever played a possession of zone that year.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what Jay Wright told me. Jay Wright told me, like, no, Q, that one of those zones, we just helped each other out. Y'all really slowed them down. Yeah. And it just, them guards, they was a lot, though. There was a lot. But
George did all he could to keep us in it. Like, George did all he could.
Like, and not to knock your mans, but he kind of dropped the ball, man. He was definitely a main player, man. He was a shooter. Ed McCants.
Ed McCants.
Yeah, he shot bad. He shot bad against Illinois, man.
He one of them dudes, man. He gonna take him. He don't know if he missed the last one. He gonna think he made the last one. He don't get affected by the last shot. He gonna keep. He gonna keep supreme confidence. Supreme confidence. That man will. He can be 0 for 50 and think he 49 for 50.
Yeah. I guess shooters got to keep shooting, right?
Shooters shoot, and he'll tell you that.
Yeah, shooters got to shoot. So so after that year, Ricky Franklin plays, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had lost
everybody
that year. Yeah.
You lost everybody that year. So now this is Ricky Franklin first year. How was that collaboration? That will collab with you two guys, incoming season. I believe it's your junior year, right?
It's going into my junior year.
Yeah. How was that collab for you?
We had Rick. It was myself, Rick, and Avo were the three guys from Milwaukee. And so Avo and I, we returned. Rick was coming off a red shirt. But everybody else pretty much was coming in young and new. well, even Rick at the time, he was young. I mean, it was his freshman year of basketball. But it was fun. We didn't have much success. We didn't have much success because we were all trying to figure out Coach Jeter's philosophy, his scheme, and he was still implementing who he was as a coach for us. And we struggled, especially with with the guys that came in. So we got jumped on a lot that year. So we all had to kind of. That was probably my toughest year of basketball.
Okay.
No, I take that back. The following year was probably my toughest year of basketball. My junior year, I played a lot. Like I probably played like 35, 36 minutes a game. And a lot of that was because shit, we ain't have nothing else, much else.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
losing was tough. Losing was tough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can just imagine it's tough. You know, your freshman, sophomore year, you go to the NCAA tournament,
Yeah.
experiencing that, and then now, everyone, you guys lose everyone, and I don't know. Would you say your junior year was like a rebuilding year type of thing?
Rebuilding year would be the perfect way to look at it, Q. You hit it
Yeah,
on the head with that one. Yeah,
yeah,
rebuilding.
yeah. And I know that that'll be tough. Especially the things you experienced your first 2 years, and then now you a junior, and you running the show now, and
Yeah.
now you got to do a whole rebuilding year, and yeah, I
Yeah.
can see why junior year could have been tough. Now,
Yeah.
mm,
So it
yeah,
was
yeah,
tough, man.
yeah. You said, "Well, my bad."
I said it was tough.
Oh,
That was real tough.
yeah, for sure.
Losing, like you ain't never lost. You know what I mean? So losing is hard, man. Lose.
Yeah, I lost upstate, Al,
I
two
mean, but
years in a row.
you didn't lose. You weren't a loser. No losing season. Like you won games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, son. So
yeah. So senior year,
mhm.
um, y'all pretty much come back with the same group,
We
and
come back with the same group. Yeah,
senior year was another struggle for you.
we come back with the same group. We had Paige Paulson, who was a shooter from. I think he had transferred from Northern Illinois. He was there. He was there the year prior. He was there as juniors with me.
Okay.
Marcus Skinner, who Marcus Skinner. He's from. He comes and plays in some leagues with us, but big about 6'7". He had braids in college, just a rebounding machine, finish around the rim, like high motor, great teammate.
Yeah.
Then we add in Tojo. Tojo came that year, and I think we were predicted to be like really good coming into the season. Like that year, it should have been a year like my freshman and sophomore year, to where we had that type of time. Then you had Rick, myself, Avo, you know what I mean, Dion. We was
I
we
can't
got
believe I
some
forgot
talent.
about that UWM team.
We should have been good, man. It was just that year was probably the toughest year that I've ever experienced in basketball. That year there, my senior year of college.
Okay. And why is that?
It was a lot of personalities, uh, no real chemistry, no, like we was boys off the court. We was all boys off the court, but we just couldn't get it together. Like one of them things where it was like we couldn't get on the same page. Like everybody, it's tough. It was tough. It was tough. You know what I mean? I don't think Avo made it through the year. Tojo didn't make it through the year. And them two dudes who could have easily been, Tojo could have been player of the conference. Avo could have easily been first team all conference. And it was just, we were clashing with the culture or the philosophy that Coach Jeter had. Not necessarily myself, but that's what the issue with the team was.
What the team was.
I mean, so,
Yeah.
but I mean, we should have been better than we were. Then we added Tim Flowers, who was coming in from. He was a freshman who came in from Simeon. He was D Rose teammate. We had Kev Johnson, who was D Rose teammate. Two guys from Chicago who came in playing with D Rose as Simeon, thinking, they coming in too as freshmen, not really backing down. And it was just a clash culture wise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, that was out. And you know what's crazy? I followed UWM for so long, I actually forgot about that UWM team, and
Yeah.
that would have been a real, like, if you guys could have like stayed on the same page, that would have been a nice team, a nice exciting team to watch.
Should have been good, man.
Yeah, that probably would have been Final Four.
We had a shot to do something real special with that talent.
Yeah.
And we was mostly Milwaukee guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing I like about Jeter.
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Pearl recruited Milwaukee guys too, and I think that's another reason why I like Bruce Pearl. But man, I love a coach that that recruit the hometown kids, man.
Yep.
So y'all got a chance to represent UW, man, and all the names we brought up, and I enjoy watching y'all in high school and college.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from all you guys. You know what I'm
saying? Those are all my bros, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, Al. Come on, man. Where did you get the name Action from? Did you have Action in high school?
Action
childhood or
my freshman year of high school, I got it. My freshman year of high school. When my freshman year as a freshman on varsity, we was 23-0 until we ran up against Washington.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of action going on, man. It was action. Action wanted the spotlight. Action wanted to be the center of attention. Action, it was a lot to do with performing on the court, but just the personality off the court as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Just more so my personality, I would say.
Okay. And you got it from an upperclassman?
I don't know. We can talk about it on here. I don't know. We can talk about it. I got it.
Man. Okay. Yeah. Say no more.
Stuck. Let's just say it's stuck.
No, that's funny, Al. All right, so you graduate from UW. When did coaching come about for you? Like, did you start at the elementary, middle school, AAU level?
AAU, coaching for Ike and playground elite. I didn't go play in Europe. I didn't go play overseas. So for me, I wanted to stay close to the game. You know what I mean? I enjoyed coaching. I coached, like, that first group I coached was like JP Tokoto, Dwayne Wilson, like those guys. And they made it fun for me. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like I felt like I was still a player, because I felt like as a player, I always kind of thought as a coach, and kind of had I felt like I was always an extension of the coach on the floor.
Yeah.
So to be able to coach, I felt like I was still playing, not going across waters and playing. So it was the closest I could stay to the game.
Yeah, coaching. So just to rewind just a little bit, and I do apologize. I like you wasn't just like one of my favorite point guards, but what after UW, did you like try to go overseas? Did you get an agent or anything? Or
I had a couple opportunities to go overseas, but financially it wasn't making sense. I still had another semester of school.
Okay.
And I didn't really have many opportunities to go overseas, where it's like, do I put my degree on hold, or do I wait for a more legitimate opportunity to go over there? But the ones I had, they didn't make sense for me. Like a lot of other guys probably would have took that opportunity. For me, it didn't make sense. So I finished my degree that fall semester after I was done playing, and then I entered grad school that spring semester. So I still had a year of scholarship, which I was able to kind of still do my education while I was while I was waiting on a more solid opportunity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I never end up going.
okay. Man, I would have loved to see you play overseas too. Oh man, come on, Al. Wisconsin. I would have loved to see you Wisconsin and overseas, man. Man, come
Yeah,
on, man. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So after that don't fall through, then you start coaching. You start coaching the AAU. I will say this. I will ask this. When did it start getting serious for you? Or was it serious for you when you was coaching them guys? Or was it just something to do at the
It
time?
was it was serious for me, probably right away, because I wanted to coach AAU. Then I wanted to coach high school.
Okay.
Um, I started coaching that. I started coaching at Dominican as an assistant coach with Derek Berger. A couple years. I want to say Dwayne, Lil D's, no, Lil D's senior year.
Okay.
Or coaching at Dominican as an assistant with Berger. So I was coaching then. I'm like, man, I love this. I'm like, I'm an assistant. I'm so passionate. I'm so opinionated. Like Berger let me do me, but he kind of put me in a position where I started thinking like, dang, I would love to run my own program. You know what I mean? Or I would love to go to the college level and be an assistant and try to work my way up. Whatever it is, I want to coach.
Yeah.
And so I coached with Dominican for 2 years. First year we won state with Dwayne and Diamond.
Uh-huh.
And Diamond, and then D graduated. We won it the next year with Diamond and Taiwan Breaston, Austin Moutry.
Yeah, yeah.
Some good kids, man. So,
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, man, great kids, hard workers.
yeah,
Hard workers, took care of business in the school.
yeah.
So yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I remember y'all winning that back to back, at Dominican. If I ain't mistaken, Khalif was on that coaching staff too, right?
He came the following year.
The following year. Okay.
Yeah, Leaf came the following year.
Okay.
The following year, I was there for 2 years until Diamond's junior year, and I think Leaf did come Diamond's senior year.
Okay.
He came Diamond's senior year because I had left, and he had came after that.
Okay. So when you leave Dominican, is that when you transition to Nicolet?
When I left Dominican, I went to UWM as video coordinator for a year on Coach Jeter's staff. And then the following year, I got bumped to director of ops. So I was probably the next position of being assistant coach then. And we end up getting let go after having a pretty successful year. We won probably like 20 games and got let go. And I went to Nicolet then. So 2016.
So about 2016. So yeah, 2016, you go into Nicolet, head coach, right?
Right.
Coach is okay, head coach.
Right.
2016, is that the year Jamari Sibley, was he a freshman then?
He was a freshman that year. Yeah. Mari was a freshman. Yeah. 2016, Mari freshman year.
Freshman, okay, yeah, freshman year. So I wanna touch on you coaching Jamari Sibley and Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
Jalen Johnson at the time, I think he came the following year, 2017, right? Or 2018?
He came 2018.
2018.
He came my third year in the coaching there.
Okay. So third year. Okay. So I remember 2016 coming to y'all games, and Jamari was a freshman on VAR. He was a young pup, really wasn't developed yet.
Right.
So your third year, now you got Jamari Sibley, who then came out the shell.
Right.
He doing his thing. And now you got Jalen Johnson, if I'm mistaken, what, third in the nation or fifth or something like that?
He was, I think when he came in, he was 4. And then I think he kind of boosted up to where he flirted with that number 1 at times. I'd always thought he was number 1.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I know he was top 4 or 5 in the nation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you got them, and granted, you got James Graham, got young Kobe. You had a great team. You had a Kobe Johnson. You had a great team. But how was it just coaching them, the group of kids, especially Jamari Sibley and Jalen Johnson.
Right.
Yeah.
The best thing about them is like they're great. They're great kids. You know what I mean? So that helps everything. Like those guys are great teammates. They're great kids, and they work hard on the court. You know what I mean? So I felt like them two really kind of took the initiative on holding everybody else accountable for how they treated each other and then their effort on the court. So they kind of echoed everything that I said and the coaching staff said. Um, I mean, they really just led us, man. They led us that year. And to be honest, like I think a lot of our success that year came from the help of you guys. You came in and really helped us out a lot that year. Whether it was teaching those guys how to defend, whether it was teaching those guys how to play without the basketball, or rather it was even beating up against those guys. You know what I mean? Like those things really helped us more than any game that we could have experienced going up into that season. You coming in and helping us that way.
Man, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity, to come help you guys out. I remember them days I was in there, helping the team out, just giving them the gems on, what a coach wants, what he needs you to do. The most important thing is staying together and all y'all being on the same page,
Right.
and like you said, every last one of them, from your starting five to your bench, even if your coaching staff, everybody is, they good people, they was good people. They had a listening ear and they wanted to learn, and they came and bought into your, you guys' system, and that's why you always stay champs, man.
Man, that year was probably the most fun I ever been around. Like you don't get too many things in life to where everything just goes right. You know what I mean? Like for those guys, for the families, for the community, for the school, like everybody got along. We didn't have one issue. With all the hype we have following us, with all the naysayers wishing things wouldn't go the way things went, we didn't have not one issue. Not one issue in the classroom, like outside the school. Like we had the most complete experience you can have as a team. We had one hiccup, and that was losing the game down in DC. Other than that, it was a perfect season.
Hey, I know as a coach, you don't want to lose, but I'd rather lose that one in DC than Wisconsin.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we want to hear the end of that. Heard the end of that.
Exactly. Yeah. So with Jalen Johnson transferring to Nicolet, did you get a lot of backlash for that?
I feel like, oh, for sure, we got a lot of backlash. We got a lot. Like it wasn't. I never experienced backlash until Jalen came to Nicolet. Like the things that we had to hear about, some of the things that we were accused of, some of the things that we were. I mean, we just had a lot said about us, and you know how I am. Like I just want to do things the right way. I'm here to coach, regardless of who's on the team and who's in the school. We're just gonna coach the guys we got. You know what I mean? And when Jalen came in, I felt like people said we were forming a super team, this and that. We had no clue that Jalen and Kobe was transferring to Nicolet. None. No clue until maybe like end of July. They posted, I think they posted on Twitter or something. Like, matter of fact, you want me to tell you when I found out? At the all-county tournament. At the all-county tournament, I found out that they was transferring.
Somebody came and showed you a Twitter message?
I'm playing at all-county. And X, I think it was X. X came up to me. Man, You broke social media. You broke the internet. You broke the internet. What you talking about, man? I said, man, we ain't played yet. We played next. We playing the minute. You broke the internet. I'm like, what you mean? You get? I'm like, that was shoot. I won all county then.
Yeah.
That was my winnings. I think we won it that year still too, though.
Yeah, did okay.
Still won it that year, but that's actually when I found out. Yeah.
Wow. So you find out all county. What's going through your head? Like, are you trying to figure out, like, man, is this true or somebody playing around?
Actually, later on, I actually talked to his parents.
Okay.
No, we are moving. We're relocating to Milwaukee. Their father is from Milwaukee, Rod. So they moved down. Went through a lot as far as from that night to the first day of tryouts. We went through so much as far as them questioning if he would be eligible to play. You know what I mean? Because they felt like we was forming a super team. We had no integrity. Guys were recruited and things like that. Like, no, none of that happened. None of that happened. So
yeah. Go ahead.
It worked out. It worked out.
Oh yeah, most definitely worked out. Now, if James Graham just transferred to Nicolet, do you think it would have been all of that? Do you think it was just a lot of commotion because Jalen Johnson and his brother Kobe came and James, like all three of them? Is that why they said?
Now, James and Kobe would have been fine because they were freshmen going into their sophomore year. Okay. Which with the NWIA rules, you're allowed to transfer before you're a sophomore and not have to sit out. James' situation was completely different than the Johnsons. Like James, I feel like James had already lived in Nicolet School District within the residency. So he had just had a scholarship to university school where I guess things didn't work out for him. And they wanted to move him to Nicolet. So I feel like I knew that James was transferring in before I knew that the Johnsons were.
Okay.
Those situations were completely independent. No one was really mentioning James or Kobe at the time. It was all about Jay because he was nationally ranked and those other guys are just freshmen about to be sophomores. But those two guys were huge parts of what we did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's most definitely. Yeah. So I kind of figured it was, a lot of commotion because of Jalen Johnson. And I remember helping you guys out around that time. And it was just like, come on, man. Y'all know Al, like he's not gonna do anything like that. These kids are hearing how good of a coach he is. And so like who don't want to play for a good coach and have a chance to win a state title?
That's how it worked out, man. You see how we do things, man.
Oh man, yes, I do. I've been there for about 3-4 years, so
it's accountability, man. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So was that 2019? 2019 y'all won state champion?
Won state that year.
Won state 2019. So you went upstate as a player and fell short.
Yeah.
Went to the NCAA tournament twice, fell short, right?
Yeah.
Now you coaching and you go up with your group of guys at Nicolet High School upstate.
Yeah.
Where you fell short at. To explain, like, tell me the feeling when y'all win that gold ball, especially versus a city school, a good Washington team.
I mean, for us, like, and what I tried to tell our guys the whole year was, let's just worry about us. Let's just worry about us. Because we had so much. The whole year, everyone has said Nicolet versus Washington. Why they not playing? And it was just so much that was going into that game already. We were 27-1 that year. The first 27 games of that season, I had never seen those guys as focused as they were the 28th game going against Washington. Like, I didn't have to talk to those guys and give them no prep talk. as far as the night before on how to take care of themselves and to make sure they're doing the right things. Like them dudes was in bed, them dudes was ready to roll. Come the next day, I came in. I was more nervous than they were.
Yeah.
Them dudes weren't nervous. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of my nerves was like, damn, like it's kind of out of your control, which is different than being a player as a coach. Like I know I'm gonna be prepared as a player. Like I can come in as a coach. It's like I want it so bad for these guys because they earned it, earned this opportunity. You know, and I know how good they've been, and they showed out, man. And Washington was a tough team.
Yeah.
Tough. You know what I mean?
That was very, very like exciting to like watch, especially for me, because that's the year that, came to every practice and just, helping you guys out and the ultimate goal is to win the state championship, and y'all did that. And like just watching it, like I was, of course, I was so happy for the players and the coach staff, but I was just so excited for like you and Khalif, because it was just so huge, man. Just because of black man, getting hired at Nicolet, and I feel like winning that state championship and keeping them kids' grades intact and keeping them focused off the court, man. I feel like you beat the odds, Yeah. So man, definitely giving you Nicolet High School your flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure, all day. Now I want to ask this last thing before I let you go. Now, of course, you still at Nicolet and whatnot, and you got a nice young group of kids. Do you consider this a rebuilding year? What's the future looking like for the team that you have now?
Man, rebuilding year. I ain't saying rebuilding year. We young, but we ready to go. Like, and not to kind of backtrack. Like, I feel like we had a lot of momentum after we won that state tournament, where that following year we could have still returned. We were young. We lost some seniors, but our core going into that following year, 2020, right before COVID, we should have repeated that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should have repeated that year. And the following year, that was Kobe and James's and Darius's, that was their senior year. Now we're looking at another opportunity to be back in the same position. COVID stopped us. COVID slowed us down. Now, last year I would have said would have been the rebuilding year.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Because we had lost everybody except for Damo. We had lost everybody that had been a part of that state championship team. Okay. So last year would have been the rebuilding year, but we make it to sectional finals. We go like 22-5, 23-5.
Yes.
Won a lot of games we probably shouldn't have won. So we make it to sectional final last year and lose to Ashwaubenon, which I felt was a really good team. So now we lose Damo and Jamari as the two seniors, but we return everyone else.
Yeah.
So I can't really say it's a rebuilding year for us. It's gonna be.
I got you. I like that. Yeah, you know what? I like that, Al, because y'all kept the same energy up after y'all won the state championship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, because I know because your team now is a lot of freshmen, sophomores, right? Few juniors.
We got a couple seniors, but we got several juniors, several sophomores, and those guys should be good. The talent is there. The talent is there. Now, how we do with it, each year is its own year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
we'll see how it play out for us. But I can't There's no way I got expectations of this year like I had for 2019. Not talent wise, but those expectations of success are there.
And that's why you a hell of a coach saying stuff like that, man. Things don't change no matter what group you got.
Things don't change. The goal is still the same.
Yeah, for sure. So before I let you go,
okay,
I need top 5 from Tulsa East High School all time.
Damn.
I'm waiting.
Man, I don't even make that cut. I don't even make that cut.
You don't think you make the cut?
I'll make the cut because no one's won more at Tulsa East than I have.
I got 2 names in my head already, and I got 3 names in my head, but I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't know.
And I played with some great Tulsa East guys, dude. I played with 2 pros, Jerry and Devin.
That's 2 then, right?
I played with them 2. Man, I'm not putting myself in there. I got Jerry, I got Devin, Tony Smith, who's a pro. I have to put Jake Walter, who is a hell of just an athlete in every sport. And there's so many guys before me that I don't really know about. Oh man,
it's tough.
I don't know. You
that
can go.
5th is Al Hansen. You ask me.
I would love to put myself, but you got Ron Hardy, you got Chris Breyer, you got Andy Freund. Man, I don't know, man.
Man, hey, I love Andy. But like I said, I don't know.
Scott Merritt. I ain't even said Scott Merritt.
I was going to bring up Scott. I was going to say.
I ain't even saying Scott Landish. I'm biased for the guys I play with or pros. So it's so hard for me to choose. Scott Landish, man.
Yeah.
Scott Merritt, man. Like, them 2 dudes was right before me. Like, that's so hard, man.
That was a good one though, but
that's really like I don't think there's a lot of schools outside of maybe Vincent that you can mention. You can have that type of tough time mentioning type guys. Vincent, King, and Washington. Them 3 schools, and then you got to think Tulsa East. It's tough picking 5 guys. I can't pick myself. I can't pick myself. Not from a talent perspective. From a winning perspective, I'm number 1 all day long. Number 1 all day long. But
one, baby.
Talent, that's tough, man.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. But hey, you know what? I'll give you that, Al. You name some people. So we'll let the audience choose and see what they say.
I know I miss so many too, dog.
Yeah, so they gonna get on you about it.
They gonna get on me. They'll be all right though.
Yeah, for sure. But man, I appreciate you coming to the Barcode Podcast, man. Vibing up with your boy, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Good luck with the rest of your when your season start. Good luck with your season with Nicolay. Okay. And man, tune in, tap in, man, when the show launch, man. I appreciate you, Al, man.
Man, Q, before I go, I gotta tell you how much I appreciate you putting me on. But I'm so thankful for everything that you did with our program and just your affiliation, everything that you doing, man. Like, seriously, even this platform that you got going, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you big time, for sure.
That mean a lot to me, man.
I'm thankful for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Al. I really do, man.
Let me know if you need something, man. You know me.
Okay. Love, baby. I'm going to tap in with you, okay?
Okay, Q, love.
Okay, love.
All right, baby.
Yeah.
Just touched down, back on road. Counting money, man, you know how it goes. Hit the VIP and tell my bitch to strike a pose. Hop in mode. Hop in mode.